There comes a moment in every life where the noise of the world must be silenced and the voice within must finally be heard. Not the voice of fear, not the voice of doubt, but the voice of destiny. The voice that whispers, you were born for more. Not to drift, not to settle, not to bow to circumstance, but to rise above it, to forge something that cannot be broken, not by failure, not by time, not by anything this world throws at you. And that something is mindset. Not just any mindset, not temporary motivation, not feel-good affirmations that fade with the sunrise. I'm talking about an unbreakable mindset, one carved through fire, one forged in clarity, built with discipline, vision, and belief so strong that even reality bends to its will. You see, every empire was first built in the mind of one man. Every fortune began in silence, in solitude, in defiance of what others called realistic. Edison didn't invent the light bulb because he followed convention. He invented it because his mind refused to accept limitation. 10,000 failures? He didn't see failure. He saw feedback, adjustment, refinement, because an unbreakable mindset is not afraid of failing. It is only afraid of giving up. This isn't about thinking positive. This is about thinking powerfully. Your mind is the command center, the engine, the pilot, and the plane. And until you seize control of it, your life will be piloted by fears you inherited, beliefs you never questioned, and ceilings you didn't build but accepted. So the question is not, can I succeed? The question is, can I endure what success demands? Because the truth no one tells you is that success is inconvenient. Greatness is not comfortable. And building an unbreakable mindset means choosing purpose over pleasure, choosing growth over comfort, and choosing discipline over chaos again and again, especially when it hurts. Let me ask you something. What do you believe about yourself when no one's watching? Because that answer is your destiny. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are, what you believe, what you think about when you're tired, alone, and no one's clapping. That's the real training ground. This world is filled with people who started strong, but the storm exposed their foundations. Dreams are easy when the sun's out, but when the winds come, when the money's gone, when your heart is broken and no one believes anymore, that's when mindset makes the difference. Carnegie knew it. So did Ford. These men didn't wait for opportunities. They built them. They weren't born wealthy. They were born hungry. And that hunger didn't disappear once they succeeded. It evolved into vision, into discipline, into ironclad belief, and they protected their minds like their lives depended on it, because it did. If someone walked into your home every day and poured garbage all over your floor, you'd throw them out, wouldn't you? Then why do you let the world pour garbage into your mind every time you scroll, every time you compare, every time you consume, instead of create? Your mind is your temple, and what you feed it determines what it produces. Thoughts become beliefs. Beliefs become identity. Identity becomes action, and repeated action becomes your reality. So if you want a different life, you must first think a different thought. That's how it begins. With a decision that says, I will not live reactive. I will not live average. I will not live on my knees begging life for scraps when I was born to stand tall and command it. This is not arrogance. This is alignment. Because deep down, you already know there is more. You feel it. That flicker of dissatisfaction, that's not weakness. That's your soul reminding you there's a higher gear. But here's the truth. There is no hack, no shortcut, no magic secret. The world will sell you dopamine, but legacy, that's earned in silence. That's built in early mornings, in late nights, in the days you don't feel like it, but show up anyway. It's built when you decide that your word is law. That once you say you'll do something, you do it. Not when it's easy, when it's right. You want to build an unbreakable mindset? Then you must become a person of discipline. Discipline is the gateway, the sword that cuts through noise, distraction, and weakness. It is the foundation of every strong mind, every world changer, every warrior of the will. Because without discipline, dreams are just wishes, and wishes are for people hoping life gets easier. You don't want easier. You want stronger, sharper, focused. You want to stop reacting and start directing. And that starts with mastering the most important battlefield on earth, the 6 inches between your ears. Because the battlefield is not out there. It's not the market. It's not the economy. It's not your past, your boss, or your competition. The real war is within. And until you win that war, nothing outside you will ever truly change. You want to know why most people fail? Because they negotiate with their emotions. They let how they feel determine what they do. And in doing so, they hand over their power to the mood of the moment. But you are not most people. You're here because something in you is ready to evolve. You're here because average makes you nauseous, because you know you were not made to be owned by circumstance. You were made to own your reality. And to do that, you must understand one truth. Emotion is a tool, not a master. You must feel it. Yes, you are human, but you do not bow to it. You do not allow the passing winds of fear or laziness or frustration to decide your fate. You act in spite of those feelings. That's power. That's control. That's a mind that cannot be broken. Think about the greats. Lincoln, alone in the White House, under the weight of a fractured nation. He didn't flinch. He didn't panic. He anchored himself to vision, to purpose, to higher ideals. He led because his mind was stronger than the storm. And that same capacity lives in you. Yes, in you. Not in some special chosen few, but in anyone willing to pay the price of mental mastery. And the price is this. You must train your mind like a warrior trains his body. Not occasionally, not when it's convenient. Every single day. Your thoughts are habits. Repetition is how they are formed, and repetition is how they are destroyed. You want new beliefs? Then speak them, write them, see them daily, until the old voice that said, "I can't," gets drowned out by a new voice that declares, "Watch me." Visualize it. Not once, constantly. See the version of you who is already doing it, waking up with purpose, working with fire, living with intention. Because the mind is a magnet, and it cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined reality and a lived one. That's how Henry Ford went from a broke mechanic to the architect of industrial America. He saw the machine before the world did. He saw the system before the blueprint. And when the critics laughed, he didn't flinch. Why? Because he didn't build his business from the outside in. He built it from the inside out. That's how all greatness is built. And you must do the same. You must guard your vision from the world, because the world is noisy. It will try to sell you comfort. It will try to shame your ambition. It will tell you to be realistic. But realism has never changed the world. Vision has. Conviction has. Belief has. So you protect your vision, not because it's perfect, but because it's yours. And because it is the only thing strong enough to pull you through the nights when everything in you wants to quit. Now hear this. There will be days when your energy fails, days when the voices get louder, when results don't come, when progress is invisible. That's when most people fold. But you will not fold, because you are building something that cannot be broken. You are not chasing a high. You are building identity, the identity of a person who finishes what they start, who shows up with fire even when no one is watching, who speaks life into their dreams when the world tries to bury them. You are becoming someone no obstacle can shake. And when the storm comes, you welcome it, because storms don't scare you anymore. They reveal you. The unbreakable do not avoid the storm.
they stand in it, and they rise through it. Not because it's easy, but because they decided long ago that they would never again betray the person they were born to become.
Because excuses are the language of the weak, and weakness is not your nature, it's your training. It's the byproduct of years spent absorbing the soft expectations of a world addicted to comfort. But you are not here for comfort. You are here for conquest. And the first kingdom to conquer is you. Your laziness, your doubt, your need for validation, your tendency to quit when it gets hard. That version of you does not get to survive. If you want to rise, it has to die. And in its place, something greater is born. A mind that does not flinch in the face of adversity. A will that does not bend when the results are slow. A spirit that stands, unbroken, unbothered, and undeniable. You see, we live in a world of quick fixes, fast dopamine, instant gratification, swipe, scroll, skip. But power, real, earned, lasting power, that's not fast, that's not easy, that's earned in the places no one sees. It's built in the early hours when the world still sleeps. It's forged in the sweat that never makes the highlight reel. It's carved from choices that no one will ever praise, but that echo in your results. You want to build a body? You train it daily. You want to build wealth? You study and execute relentlessly. You want to build a business? You solve problems until your brain bleeds and your soul burns. And if you want to build a mind that cannot be broken, you must put it through fire, again and again, until the fire fears you. Because the world will test you. The moment you decide to rise, it will push back. Your friends won't understand. Your family may question you. The mirror will lie to you. The results will be slow, and the progress will be invisible. And still, you must move. Still, you must show up with that same intensity, that same belief, that same fire that says, this may not happen overnight, but it will happen, because I will not be denied. This is where most people break. This is the point where average minds fold. But you are not most people. Because your standard is not as long as it's easy. Your standard is whatever it takes. Repeat that. Whatever it takes. That's the DNA of champions. That's the mindset of warriors. That's how empires are built. Look back at every legend, every mogul, every innovator, every giant of industry. Their lives were not smooth stories. They were wars. Carnegie was born in a one-room house. He became the richest man on earth. Oprah was abused, doubted, discarded. She became a global empire of influence and impact. Arnold Schwarzenegger arrived in America with a suitcase and an accent no one understood. He became Mr. Olympia, a movie star, and a governor. Not because they were lucky, because their minds were built to bend reality. They knew the rules, but chose to rewrite them. And so can you. But you must kill the part of you that hesitates, that seeks permission, that waits for perfect timing, because there is no perfect time, only now. And the longer you wait, the softer your edge becomes. But when you move, when you act with certainty, with precision, with fire, life begins to obey. Opportunities appear. People align. The universe makes way for the one who knows exactly who they are and where they're going. And that's you. Not someday, now. But it's not just about working harder. It's about thinking clearer, about seeing every challenge as training, about understanding that life is not happening to you, it's happening for you. That setback, it's sharpening your patience. That failure, it's building your character. That pain, it's waking up the warrior that comfort tried to kill. Your pain is not your prison, it's your platform. Use it. Turn it into power. Transmute it into fuel. Because that's what the unbreakable do. They don't run from the fire. They become the fire.